What's up everyone, it's TheRazoredEdge, and today I'm here to bring you guys some Gears 5 news and discussion. So what you're looking at on screen right now is some Gears of War 4 beta gameplay, which was actually an alpha build of Gears of War 4 according to Rod Ferguson. And one of the biggest pieces of feedback about the Gears of War 4 beta was the designs of the Swarm characters. The Coalition took the feedback and improved upon them for the full release of Gears of War 4, but vastly improving the detail and adjusting the color palette. After the full release of Gears of War 4, the Coalition gave us many kinds of variants and skins for the Swarm that Gears of War players really enjoyed, but it can't go without saying that at a glance, the Swarm faction looked very identical in a lot of ways. It was quite hard to quickly identify them as easily as enemies from the Locust Horde. Well, in a recent video from IGN for their month-long coverage of Gears 5 on IGN First, some updated designs and variants of Swarm enemies have been revealed. The following image that you're currently looking at on screen right now was put together by friend of the channel at Gears Declassified, and in this video we're going to be comparing the Gears 5 Swarm with their variants from Gears of War 4. Alright, so first up we have the Swarm Drone Elite, which seems to be a direct relation to the Swarm Drone. The facial feature is very similar, except on the right side of his face, or the left side of his face that you guys are seeing, he's kind of got like a growth going on, and as well as on his shoulder, and it appears that he only has one belt buckle this time. It appears to have been shredded off in the midst of battle, or he's kind of growing out of it, something like that. But he seems to be kind of the standard variant. This was kind of like the default Locust drone. This is like the default Swarm drone variant, but this seems to be an elite version of that. There is an elite drone in Gears of War 4, but this definitely, just by looking at it, looks like kind of an updated version of the regular Swarm drone. And then next up on the list of characters here is the Swarm Grenadier, which actually here has a direct correlation in the name, except this time he's got some extra armor on his face. It seems to be a theme with all of the Swarms here, or all the Swarm variant, that they have kind of some extra armor that they've collected as their time like out of the hive and all that jazz. And this guy, he's got kind of armor covering his face, and there's kind of a light shining through there, and his chest looks very the same. It just looks like he's kind of assembled some armor on him. It doesn't seem to have any kind of extra growth happening. His shoulder's the same. He's got that kind of white war paint charcoal kind of thing going on the front of his chest. I forget, like, I don't know if lore reasons, if that's kind of something that he just painted on himself as a kind of a variant, or if that's kind of like a genetic thing that's happening on his growth right there. I know on the Swarm Sniper that it seems to be a growth, but on this guy it seems to be kind of something that he's kind of rubbed on himself. But he's definitely just got kind of a faceplate going on there, very kind of RoboCop-esque, I must say, just the one kind of slit along the front of his eyes there. But very cool. It's even just small details like that just make these characters look so much better. Alright, and then next up here we have the Swarm Elite Grenadier. So this guy seems to be a variant, obviously, of the Swarm Grenadier, except this one has found more armor kind of going on his head, and he's got actually an armor chest piece as well, as you can see there. And his arms appear to be slightly bigger. It looks like his growth is happening a bit more so than the regular Swarm Grenadier. But what's interesting about his helmet is that it's actually very reminiscent, if you guys ever came across the character, the Blood Moon Swarm Imago in Gears of War 4. So it is yet to be kind of said if that's going to be like a lore variant of a Swarm, or if that was just like a skin that we got in Gears of War 4 multiplayer. But the helmet is undeniably like a tribute to that, or inspired by that, the kind of the multiple scratch marks down his face, but very distinct, I have to say. That's one of my favorite of the new Swarm designs, hands down. I really like the way that looks. But he doesn't seem to be like a splice of any other kind of variant of the Swarm. He's definitely kind of a second rendition of the Swarm Grenadier, but very cool. Love the way that looks. And then next up on the list here is the Swarm Hunter. So this one caught me quite off guard, I have to say. Looking very different. When I first saw some gameplay of this guy in all of the escape mode gameplay that's been revealed, it looked like this was kind of like a growth that was coming from his head, but this appears to be some kind of cloth that the Hunter has placed on his head. I have to say, he has a very lobster-esque looking head in Gears of War 4, but as you can see, like, his chest, sorry, not his chest piece, but his chest is very much the same. He's got the kind of white dust on his shoulder, but he has this kind of, like, it's like a camo cloth. It looks like like a swarm rendition of a ghillie suit, if that makes any kind of sense, but it looks like he's lost his, he's lost the belt buckle from across his shoulder. Maybe he wants to hide a bit more. Like, as I said, this looks like his kind of rendition of a ghillie suit, so maybe he didn't want the kind of the glowing lights on his belt going across his arm to get him caught, because he's already kind of exposed enough with the glint from the sniper scope that he's probably using in the campaign, or escape, or whatever mode you may be playing in Gears 5. But damn, I have to say, that is really, really cool. I like it's not something I ever thought of, but it's cool the way that the swarm seem to be like this group of scavengers that are just taking whatever they can from the remains of the Locust War and putting it and applying it to themselves. And then over time now, they're actually like finding other things. They're probably like that leather or material is probably from an outsider that they've killed or kidnapped or whatever in swarm pods, and they're just taking whatever they can. So I have to say, that kind of stuff is pretty exciting to me, and it's cool to see them evolve as characters there. And then next up in the list is the Swarm Elite Hunter, which, just like the Swarm Elite Grenadier, seems to be a variant of the Swarm Hunter, obviously, except this guy's got like a face mask. This guy is he's even deeper into the fact that he's a sniper. And but this one, he looks a bit more gray looking, a bit more worn, a bit more seasoned. He seems to have that white dust on his other shoulder as well. It's hard to tell from all these shots, like all the complete details of them, just because it's from the chest up. There's been bits of random gameplay throughout escape mode, but it's very hard to kind of pinpoint where all that is. But from the most part, from what I could see of the Swarm Elite Hunter, he looks really, really cool. When it comes to multiplayer, I wonder which one you guys prefer. Would you prefer the Swarm Hunter with no mask? You could see on the Swarm Hunter with no mask that he was very much the same design face-wise as the Swarm Hunter, but this guy's maybe he got shot and he has a big wound on his face and he's just covering it, or maybe he just thinks that helps him blend in a bit more. Who knows? But it's definitely really, really cool. Unexpected design choice. I have to say, it's just I didn't imagine that what they would look like when it came to changes in Gears 5. I didn't expect to see such huge changes. I just expected to see more new variants, but it's cool to see that these guys actually updated the way they look. So very, very cool. I love the Swarm Elite Hunter. Alright, so next up in the list is the Swarm Sniper Elite. So notice the fact that he is not called just the Swarm Sniper. So in the video, we've had kind of, the standard Swarm variant and then an Elite version. And actually same for the Swarm Soldier Elite, I just noticed that. So this looks like that this will be the most armored up version of the Swarm Sniper. And then we'll probably get a normal version of the Swarm Sniper that has maybe a couple of extra things on him. Maybe his growth looks a bit different or whatever. But basically, it looks like the white growth that the Swarm Sniper had on his head in Gears of War 4 is kind of something that is delicate to the Swarm Sniper. So he's covering that up with armor. His eye is very reminiscent of like the Locust Sniper goggles, except it's obviously just one eye. He also has a shoulder pad with another kind of red kind of like red glowing eye kind of looking thing on his shoulder, and then he also has chest armor as well. So this guy's definitely the most armored out of the few. I guess he could be kind of comparable with the Swarm Elite Grenadier, but it seems, if I were to take a guess, it looks like the Swarm Sniper Elite took whatever was left of the Locust Cyclops helmet. Does it not look like that? Especially the shoulder piece. It looks like a stretched out version of the Locust Cyclops helmet, and that he's just like bent it to fix the shape of his body, and as well as his head there. It looks like he's just kind of wrapped it around that kind of cone that's on top of his head. But damn, it looks so cool. And if you guys have ever seen gameplay of the Swarm Sniper Elite so far, and any coverage of escape gameplay, you will have seen kind of it seems to point a laser out. So that'd be kind of interesting to keep an eye out for. So, but that is it there for all of the variants of the kind of standard drone variants There's a couple others in the image there. There's the leeches, which seem to be kind of a variant or a doppelganger of Quill, sort of, in that sort of sense, except they're much more aggressive, and they actually, like, fly around in a swarm gameplay-wise. And then there's new juvies called Poppers, which are kind of, they seem to be the Coalition's take on Suicide Grunts from Halo, if you guys ever seen that. Yeah, there was a good bit to go over there in that video, and I have to say, I really like the updated variants of the Swarm. But let me know what you guys think of them in the comments down below. Which one do you like the look of so far? Is there ones that we haven't seen yet that you think we should see kind of update variants of? Which one do you think you'll be playing as in Gears 5 multiplayer, or whatever other modes, or whatever else is coming out of Gears 5? Everything is very unknown at the moment, but let me know what you guys think of the new Swarm enemy characters in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to my channel for all future Gears 5 related content. Share the video around if you really enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter at TheRazoredEdge. Be sure to join my Discord link via the description down below if you want to talk Gears 5 all day, every day, and I will see you guys next time. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought, subscribe to my channel if you're brand new for more videos, share the video around if you really enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.